A very pleasant winter good morning to all of you. A warm welcome to the 133rd General Body Meeting of All India Railway Retired Officers Association. It is always wonderful to meet and greet all our friends as we come together once in a quarter. Today, time slows down. We are all excited to see our Metro Man, Sri NVS Reddy Garu, and our chief guest, Sri V.S. Shastri Garu. It's always wonderful to meet and greet all our friends as we come together once in a quarter. Today, time slows down, experience gathers, and wisdom takes center stage. We assemble today not merely as retirees, but as torchbearers of values, as custodians of service, and as lifelong railwaymen whose journey of contribution never halts. Let us begin this day with enthusiasm, unity, and a shared commitment to our association goals. Request all of you to kindly keep your mobiles on silent mode, please. We'll begin this auspicious session by invoking the blessings of Almighty. Lighting the ceremonial lamp symbolizes the dispelling of darkness and spreading of wisdom. I now request our dignitaries and the elders to kindly join us in lighting the lamp. I request Sri NVS Reddy Garu, Sri V.S. Shastri Garu, Sri M.V. Somyajulu Garu, who is our senior most member. I understand he is 98 years young. 92 years young. Sri M.L. Gupta Garu, Sri Pothiraj Garu, Sri Bhaskar sir, kindly just join us. I request our EC members, committee members also to kindly join. It is said that Deepam Jyoti Parabrahma, may the light of knowledge and unity guide us throughout our lives. May this light dispel the darkness and spread wisdom, knowledge, and positivity. There is a strong belief that where there is light, there is hope, and at the end of the darkest tunnel, there is always light. We do have a special invitee here, Mr. Nalin Kumar, who is the son of Mr. J.J. Rao, who was a visionary and a founder of our AIRROA. I request Mr. Nalin Kumar also to please join. Please ask him to come now for prayer. Thank you very much, sir. Every great journey begins with great leadership. Now it's my pleasure to invite our core committee members to kindly grace the dais. It's my pleasure to request our innovative president, Shri A. Venkateshwar sir, to kindly come onto the dais. Our sagacious advisor, Shri K. Seshasai Garu, our silent pillar of strength and Vice President, Dr. Srimati Malati, Dr. Malati, the man behind the print, editor of Raildesk Guardian, Sri C. Mohan Garu, the cool, a very cool and tactful legal force, our secretary, Sri E. Sukumaran Garu, the most pragmatic and vigilant treasurer, Sri Damodar Prasad Garu. This is the special task force working voluntarily for the welfare of All India Railway Retired Officers Association. They keep conceiving novel ideas and are striving to infuse renewed energy into our routine retired mechanical lives. So please welcome them with a good round of applause. Thank you. Music is the food of love and the best channel to seek divine blessings. A prayer is not just a ritual, but connects our hearts. I request Sri Sudhakar Garu to invoke divine blessings with his melodious prayer.
Prayer song. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaj Shitalam, Sasya Shamalam, Mataram, Vande Mataram. Subrajosna pulakitayamini pullakusumita drumadala shobini suhasini sumadura bhashini sukadam varadam mataram vande mataram. Vande Mataram. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that very melodious rendering. Now we have introduction of new members. We are so happy to share that a lot of new members have joined in the recent past, but there are many more who have to come to our fold. I request all the members who are present today to kindly spread this message and invite all those who have still not joined our association, so that we grow in strength day by day. I request Sri Damodar Prasad Garu to introduce the new members and continue the program.
Good morning to all of you. We are delighted to acknowledge today in this GBM the presence of our one of the oldest member, Sri Muthu Venkatrama Somayajulu Garu. He is aged 92 years. He retired as a senior DCM. And now I Sri Muthu Somayajulu Garu. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I'll read out the names of the new members joined during the last quarter. Around 13 new members have joined, and 9 from local, that is Twin Cities, and 4 non-local, other than Twin City area residing members. During the first 3 quarters of 25-26, around 58 new members joined our association. During the quarter, Sri Bhaskara Srinivasa Rao, retired ADN SCR, B. Chintaya, AXCN, ROB SCR, Srimati Behrawala Kritika, SMM Northern Railway. She is associate member. Sri KLJ Mohan Rao Garu, Senior DST Guntakal. Sri T. Malyadri Garu, FNCO SCR. Sri C. Madhusudan Rao Garu, PCME SCR. Sri Masharur Alam, CSTE Construction SCR. Madhukar Gurnath, Deputy CEE Southwestern Railway. G. Pichaya, AEE CWS Lalagoda. Suresh Pattabhiraman, CEE SCR. Sambamurthy K. ADN SC SCR. Tapas Kumar Rai, RBA Guntakal SCR. And Sri P. Venkatrao, AHO Guntakal. If any of the members are available, I would like them to have self-introduction of these new members. Sir, please come. Sri B. Chintai Garu.
Sir, good morning to everybody, sir. Sir, I am B. Chintaya, retired as a AXN ROB, headquarters Secunderabad, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I am residing Sainikpuri of Secunderabad, and that's it, sir. Thank you. Sir, January 2025, sir. January 2025, yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please. Sri Samamurthy Garu.
Andariki namaskaram and good morning everybody. I am very blessed to join in this association. I retired as ADN in the month of June 2025 and I am residing at Sainikpuri, and I am very much happy to join in this association with my colleague Mr. Chintaya also. We both live nearby only, and I feel that I got again one more guidance from our association and senior members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. During this quarter, we have received donations from two members. Sri MSR Swami, PS2 DRM Secunderabad, donated 1,000 rupees. And Sri V. Balram Garu, Director IRSET, donated 2,500 rupees. AIRROA thanks the donors for their generous contribution to the association. Thank you. And during the first 3 quarters, we received around 48,500 rupees as donations. We thank all the members. Thank you. During the quarter, we lost a few of our valuable members. Sri M.V. Narayanamurthy, DSTE Bejwada, Southern Railway. He is a resident of Vijayawada. He joined as associate member, and later he became a life member of our association. Another member whom we lost is Sri Jayan Gupta. He retired as Deputy CSO Engineering, and later on he was associated with HMRL. Suddenly, due to massive heart attack, he expired in Bangalore. Another member we lost is Sri C.H. Sundar Rao, AWM Lalagoda, on 8th January. He was 70 years old, and he born on 16th May 1955 and retired in 2015. Now let us, AIRROA expresses deep sorrow on the demise of our dear members and conveys heartfelt condolences and sympathy to their bereaved family members. Let us all rise and observe 1 minute silence in memory of the members who passed away during October 25, January 26. Thank you.
Sadgati Pratirastu, may their souls rest in peace. We shall now have an open house because AIRROA believes that every voice matters and every thought deserves space. We now enter the open house, a forum of free and inquisitive minds. This will be moderated by our president, Shri A. Venkateshwar Garu.
Friends, in the last 3-4 general body meetings, due to the paucity of time, though open house was being held towards the end, we were not able to devote time for this. So the committee decided that if possible, we will advance this open house. Though of course I know we have good other forums, social media forums where we are exchanging views. When a collective body meets like this in person, we thought that maybe we should give an opportunity to those who are not very friendly on the mobile and our WhatsApp groups or even email. So we have advanced this. We seek the permission of the chief guest and the keynote address speaker, because this is preceding the main activity which will follow. But once we are done with this open house, which I'm sure will be for very few minutes, we'll be able to. So anybody wishes to raise any issue, whatever they wish, you are most welcome. So we will circulate. Manju, do we have the? So we will circulate the mic. If you have anything to say, please say something. Somyazul Garu, just kurchun matadandi, but you just introduce. If you have any issue, please raise it.
ఏ దేశం మేగినా ఎందుకు కాలిడినా ఏ పీఠ మెక్కినా ఎవరేమనినా పొగడరా నీ తల్లి భూమి భారతిని నిలుపురా నీ జాతి నిండు గర్భము ఏ పూర్వపుణ్యమో ఏ యోగ బలమో జనించినాడ ఈ భరతఖండమున లేరు రామన వంటి పౌరులింకెందు లేరు రామన వంటి వీరులింకెందు ఓడల జెండాలు అందాక గల ఈ అనంత భూతల్ని లేరు రామన వంటి పౌరులింకెందు లేరు రామన వంటి వీరులింకెందు. ఇది రాయర్పురులు వారు రాసింది, మనకు అందరికీ కూడా వస్తుందని చెప్తున్నాను. మనందరికీ పితామహుడైనటువంటి ఈ రోజుని మనం అనుకున్నది మనందరికీ ఈ రోజుని అందరికీ సుఖంగా జీవితం గడపడానికి వచ్చింది. మనకి ఈనాడు పెన్షన్ తీసుకుంటున్నాము, మనం చేస్తున్నాం అంటే మన పితామహుడైనటువంటి గుర్తు పెట్టుకోవాలని చెప్తూ నా పేరు చెప్తున్నాను. నా పేరు సోమయాజులు. నేను నా తల్లి చిన్నతనంలో పోయింది 3వ సంవత్సరంలో, తండ్రి 10వ సంవత్సరంలో పోయారు.
సోమయాజులు గారు, మీ గురించి
నేను కాకినాడలో పిఆర్ కాలేజీ చదివాను, అడ్వకేట్గా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేశాను కాకినాడలో. తర్వాత 64లో రైల్వేలో సెంట్రల్ రైల్వేలో చేరాను. 30 సంవత్సరాలు బొంబాయిలో చేశాను. సెంట్రల్ రైల్వేలో పనిచేసిన వాళ్ళు ఎవరన్నా అంటే 85, 92 వరకు లా ఆఫీసర్గా చేశాను. తర్వాత ఎస్సీఎంగా చేసి ఆఖరిలో ఐఆర్టీఎస్ ఇచ్చారు. రిటైర్ అయిపోయి కాకినాడలో ఉన్నాను. ప్రస్తుతం మా అబ్బాయి దగ్గర ఉంటున్నాను.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సోమయాజుల్ గారు. మనం విందాం.
అందరి వల్ల కూడా అయిందని చెప్తూ సెలవు తీసుకుంటాం.
Thank you so much. I understand he's so passionate about this service and his role as a railwayman. We are grateful that he has found time to come to us. In case there is anybody else who would like to raise an issue which is bothering them, briefly state your name and the issue. Yes. Any issue you wish to raise, good or bad, you are most welcome.
Good morning. I am N. Madhusudan Rao. I retired as additional member Commercial Railway Board. And I just paid the membership fees. So although you have not made me a member, I hope I have the right to speak here. One issue, sir, that a good number of us are staying in the, the new area of Hyderabad, that is Gachibowli and all. And I am staying in Nanakramguda, and there are a lot of colleagues of mine who are in that area. So I had approached the CMD that whether a health unit could be set up in Lingampalli or Hafizpet, wherever the railway facility is there, a railway health unit is there, because it will then stop us from traveling 25 kilometers from there to here. I had requested the earlier GM that by the time he could take any action, Mr. Jain retired. So I spoke to the Secretary GM. He said if about 15-20 people from the pensioners can make out a letter and give it, then my individual letter won't matter. I had sent a letter, but then they said if it is 15-20 people at least, then they will consider. It will help us a lot. And just to add that Northern Railway has in Gurgaon, has in Faridabad, and now I think they are trying to open in Noida. So why can't we do it so that it's very difficult to travel all the way from there to here. So if the association can do it, grateful.
Surely. Thank you, Madhusudan Garu, for that suggestion. If you recall, we had discussed this and we have it takes, but it has been flagged. So we have to collect a database of those living nearby Lingampalli who will benefit from this. And it's not only officers, the staff also will be there in large numbers. So we're trying to coordinate with the PAR also. If we get the numbers and we give a representation, I'm sure this should move very fast. Thank you very much. Just to recall, what he wants is that because there are large number of residents in Lingampalli area and the new high-tech city beside that, he's suggesting that the railway open a clinic somewhere near Lingampalli station or wherever it's possible. That is the idea, a clinic near that site, as is being done in Delhi for Gurgaon and Noida and other places. Thank you for that. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, please.
My name is K.R.K. Reddy. I have retired as an AME from the railways. So my request is, I request this organization to open some subcommittees which will...
Please put the mic closer to your...
My request is to open some more subcommittees of this organization which will serve the retired pensioners about health service and personal side passes service and pension side and one more thing like that, personal, some committees, subcommittees about 2-3 items to serve these employees, please. That's the request.
Yeah, we have already 6 subcommittees working on this, on all the issues you have raised. This is being a voluntary organization. We would welcome volunteers to join these subcommittees. As he had rightly said, there are a lot of issues which require coordination, and I'm sure we will be able to improve on this. As it is health, pension, settlement dues, including even cultural, and we keep forgetting our families. Even the cultural and family side, like organizing picnics, cultural programs, we have a subcommittee for that also. So I'm sure your suggestion is already being implemented. We'll try to take it forward. Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir. So my name is Manan Gopal. The railway hospital, because of mobile network is not reaching inside the building while scanning our serial number. So similarly, railway free Wi-Fi like that, railway hospital may be provided so that instead of mobile network, Wi-Fi, through Wi-Fi we can scan and get number.
Thank you. Noted, please. We'll communicate that to the concerned authorities. Perhaps only the CST should be told about it.
Madan Gopal, I have gone to hospital so many times. Most of the wings are having a Wi-Fi coverage. The only thing is that you have to know the password to access it. So so you ask the concerned coordinator to give the password. If they give it to you, you can use it. Inpatient, say every ward has got a Wi-Fi connectivity. You only have to ask the ward in charge to share the password. It's like same like if you come to my house, you can't access my internet unless I give password to you. It's that.
Sir, good morning, sir. My name is Ravi Kumar. I have retired as Deputy CS for Traffic. I would like to bring to your notice that in spite of repeatedly agreeing by CMD in their meetings for prescribing medicines for 3 months, it is not being implemented. And particularly in the case of LP also, in the meetings and minutes it will be written that including LPs for the retired pensioners, it will be accepted for 3 months prescription. In reality, it is not being done. And when I asked unofficially, one of my relative who is a doctor, he told me because of budget constraint, on the paper it is being written, but in reality it is otherwise. So we should pursue for this, because most of the medicines LP are also there. For that again, every month one has to come all the way and take it from the Ralaguda Hospital. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I would request you all to go through the latest issue of the Railways Guardian, which is in your hands. And there are 4 or 5 major issues which we have already taken up, and the responses are there in the Railways Guardian. We are pursuing. There are constraints. The staff side also is taking it up. I suppose there will be some resolutions very shortly. It is not really only the retired officers who can move this issue to finality. Thank you for that in any case. Yeah. Page number 4, the update on the medical issues. Please go through that. Manju, can we have some copies in the front row? Though our invitees. Thank you for that, suggestions and also the issues which you have been able to raise. I would request Indra to take over.
Excellence deserves recognition and dedication deserves celebration. Success is best only when it inspires others. Our association believes in recognizing those among us who walk an extra mile to achieve excellence and scaled pinnacles of success. I request Sri Mohan Garu, editor of Railways Guardian, to share details of the previous achievers recognized, felicitated, and are a part of our glorious Achievers Club.
Thank you, madam. Namaste, everyone, and very good morning to all of you. All of us have done very well while in service. Some of us have done an excellent, extraordinary service, not only in railways, but also outside railways. There are very jewels, very high caliber jewels. So 2 years back, when the new executive committee took over, there was a proposal, such talented people let us recognize. Under the leadership of President Sri Venkateshwar, we decided to recognize these extraordinary persons who have contributed greatly in various activities like sports, literary activities, social service, arts and culture, photography or medicine. In so many fields they have done extraordinarily well. So I will take you a brief recollection of what contribution they have done. And so 7 people have recognized in the last 1 year, starting with Sri A. Ramarao Garu. He retired as COPS in Eastern Railway. He is 93 plus now. He published various books on railways, and 8 of them are bestsellers in Amazon. He is also a prolific writer on Hindi film music. For 18 years, he worked in this executive body of association. He is well known to all of us as the writer of Last Page. He is one of the first person to be admitted into Achievers Club for his extraordinary contribution to the literature, the music, and then association also. And then next comes Sri Pammi Sachinarayan Shastri Garu. He is 88 years old now. He is basically an electrical engineer, but became an Ayurvedic doctor. He published about 200 books on Ayurveda. He also got a trust. They translated around 1,200 books and digitized them. He is a well-known authority on Ayurveda. He is also known as Vaidya Ratna. He is based in Vijayawada. He is our second jewel to be recognized. The third person is Mr. Somnath Pal, retired from ERSET as assistant professor. He is also founder chair of IEEE Reliability Society, which is a technical body, and also he is a member of Safety Working Group on Railways of UK. He is the third person to be recognized. And the fourth person is Srimati Indira. She is an athlete of National Award winner. She is also a commissioner of Bharat Scouts and Guides. She is also an enthusiast of gardening. She is a hobbyist. She is also a community influencer. She retired as principal of Railway Junior College here, where a good number of our railway children got educated. And the fifth person is Shri Prabhakar Rao Garu, retired as CME of at Hajipur. He traveled to 31 countries in 600 days. He traveled to all 7 continents, including Antarctica. Not only in the countries, he traveled wide in the various wildlife sanctuaries. He's taken a lot of photographs, shared with a good number of us. Apart from his journeys, he has also worked in the Territorial Army. He was also deployed in Pakistan border, which is one of the dangerous areas. Sri K.P. Rao Garu is here with us.
With people like K.P. Rao in our midst, we are safe from any cross-border threats. I was amazed to know that he is perhaps the only railway officer, perhaps, we may be wrong, Territorial Army lo undaga, ఆయన్ని border కు పంపించారు. It's a great honor for a railwayman.
He plans to visit Greenland soon. Next person was Srimati Ananda Shankar. She retired as CAO Systems. She is an acknowledged and renowned Bharatanatyam dancer. She received a Padma Shri for her contribution to arts and literature. She is one of the few persons from railways given this award of Padma Shri. She is also a cancer survivor and inspirational speaker on TEDx platform. She has a PhD on for tourism and culture. And next person is Dr. Sudhanshu Mani. He is well known as the Vande Bharat man. Incidentally, today, the Vande Bharat sleeper is being launched from Kamakya to Howrah. So we had opportunity to interact with him in last GBM. She is a multi-talented personality. He quotes extensively from Mirza Ghalib and Shakespeare, an eloquent speaker, including on TEDx platform. He's a writer, he's a dramatist, a poet, and a blogger. Those of you who follow him in the Facebook you will find indecisive Indian. Last time he wrote a blog and an extract of which we give in this magazine. Thank you, sir. And next jewel is our Hyderabad Metro person, Dr. NVS Reddy, about whom our President, sir, will explain about his introduction. Thank you, sirs.
Some guests walk in very quietly, like today's guests, VS Shastri sir and NVS Reddy garu. They walked in very quietly, yet their presence speaks volumes. I invite our chief guest, Sri VS Shastri garu, IRAS retired and retired AGM SCR, to kindly come on to the dais. Sri Damodar Prasad garu will, Damodar Prasad sir, I request you to escort our chief guest. Last session, we had the Miracle Man, and this session, another special invitee, our Metro Man is here. We welcome our keynote speaker of JJ Memorial Lecture, a man whose vision has reshaped skylines, whose determination moved millions daily, and whose work turned dreams into destinations. With pride and admiration, we invite Sri NVS Reddy garu, fondly known as the Metro Man, to come on to the dais. Request Prakash Rao garu to kindly escort him. Thank you. Flowers speak the language that words often fail to express. Flowers not only spread fragrance, but are symbols of respect, gratitude, and heartfelt welcome. I request Dr. Srimati Malati, our Vice President, to present bouquets to our distinguished guests. We are indeed honored by the august presence of our chief guest, Sri V.S. Shastri garu, IRS retired AGM and NVS Reddy garu, now advisor, retired MD HMRL and now advisor urban transport government of Telangana. It is the privilege of our president, Sri A. Venkateshwar garu, to introduce today's distinguished guests. They have enriched our occasion by their presence. Request President Sir, or Dr. Malati. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I request our President to introduce today's guests.
So friends, a very great occasion once again this quarter. We have two luminaries from the railways, both of whom have served on South Central, and incidentally, both of them happen to be IRAS officers who have distinguished themselves. I'll quickly give you, for those who do not know Mr. V.S. Shastri, he is a very well-known, otherwise officer, not only here in South Central, but also in the railways in general. We are happy that he agreed to our request to be the chief guest on a day when we have an achiever, NVS Reddy, being inducted into our Achievers Club, and he will do the honors. So very briefly, to give you an idea about Mr. Vishwanatha Subbaraya Shastri garu, I don't know how many of you know that he was an All India Chartered Accountant topper, a gold medalist, sir, way back in 1957, 56 perhaps. He joined the IRS in 57. Sir, please pardon us if you have got the years wrong, because there is always a doubt about which year, civil service, IAS, and so on. But what is more amazing is that he belongs to a family of accountants. All his brothers are chartered accountants or associated with accountancy in some way or the other. And presumably, we were told in good old days that he was the first chartered accountant who refused to continue his profession. He said, I would rather join and serve the government in IRAS. I think this is another very major achievement, and we are proud that he has been there to help us through our careers. He has been a pioneer in EDP and information systems in good old days, and I have managed to locate an extract. Way back in 1979, Mr. Shastri was a member of a committee along with Mr. Gill. Sir, if you recall the names, Ashok Mehrotra. This is the committee on FOIS. Now the FOIS which we are now today hearing of, and the PRS system, and you could recall what is written there is, it was not passenger reservation system, it was called passenger seat reservation, PSR, then it became PRS. So he was one of the first, perhaps the leading member of that team on the IT side, and that was the earliest report we have. There were others also on that committee, but he was the one who spearheaded it. Of course, after that there have been several committees, several committees I should say, but which saw the light of the day only sometime in later on in '89 when Madhavrao Scindia was the minister and so on. After that, most of you would have joined, and it is legendary by then. So Mr. Shastri has been one of those at that time. He was also the FNCO at RCF Kapurthala and was instrumental in he was one of the key designers of the entire project. He took great interest. On our railway, he had commissioned 30 costing studies, and some of us happen to be members of those costing studies in a series called Do You Know series, which was very well appreciated in those days. Costing of an activity. Now, for instance, how much does it cost when an accident happens? How much does it cost if you are setting up a J-grade post? In those days, provisions were different and the actual hidden costs were much more else. So these were some of the studies he encouraged us to do. He also conducted innovative quiz, which is being continued now, Quiz Lekha on the Indian Railways. And of course, after retirement, he was commissioned by the minister for doing a study on the depreciation policy. Depreciation policy, as you all know, continues to be a bane of the budget, of the railway budget, but he gave his thoughts from a chartered accountant's perspective and his experiences otherwise. What some of you do not also would know is, Mr. Shastri is a brilliant bridge player, and in good old days, he represented, I am told, both Mr. and Mrs. Shastri represented the various zonal railway teams. So we were happy to have you here, sir, and it's only fitting that a person like you would hand over or induct Mr. N.V.S. Reddy into the Achievers Club. Quickly on to N.V.S. Reddy, a very good colleague of mine. He has seen perhaps more service outside the railways than in the railways. Like I also happen to, I also happen to spend more time outside railways than in the railways on deputation. NVS is actually a bureaucrat who has reformed quietly a lot of good reforms in the systems he has worked. He has been a transformational leader. And I'm sure you all will agree with me that infrastructure development after Hyderabad Metro, not only in Hyderabad, in the country, has seen a new dimension. He's been very innovative in that, as you would see in his presentation. The other side of NVS is that he's a good environmentalist. Very few of us really bother about, climate change and need for disturbing ecology to the least possible extent when you're undertaking an infra project. And we will see more about that. And it's not that he does his work quietly, he also shares whatever he knows, whatever he has learnt with a whole lot of colleagues. I would say one of the reasons why we have such a wonderful audience here today, even at the start itself, is perhaps that all of you want to listen to NVS Reddy, right? Because we have heard of him. We have heard of him as somebody who is gone out of the railways but then made a mark. And we particularly choose the topic today, and I'm sure that would interest you. He'll speak more about that. Very quickly, NVS was a leftist in his college days. I don't know how many of us were, but he was surely a follower of Sri Sri. In fact, he received an award from Sri Sri, our famous revolutionary poet, Sri Rangam Srinivasa Rao Garu gave him an award in those days. He is from the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, where he did his MA and his MPhil. And then, of course, 83, he joined the IRAs. His career, by now it is mostly known to many of us, but then he started in Konkan and South Central, spent about 18 years in that period. Then he joined the power sector. Incidentally, I was also there in the power sector at that time. And then after that, he moved to the municipal corporation. For a brief time, he was associated with the MMTS project. But then I think the key point in his career was when he joined the HM. In fact, he was the founding managing director of HMRL. And finally, just this year, just towards the end of last year, he's moved into the government as an advisor. So you would see in a career of about maybe from 1984 to today, 18 years in the railways, Konkan and South Central, and then another 18 years in, the metro. So he's actually, sometimes we say for us, Karana Purshudu. It just happened that he was there at the right time at the right place, but then he took it up all with so much passion, and that is why we see the Hyderabad Metro what it is today. He has managed, and I don't want to give other connotations, but he has served for 18.5 years in a state government post, sir. He has managed to be there for 18.5 years. It is a record for a state PSU as well as a central PSU. MDs, we have seen them for about 10, 12 years, but not this 18.5 years. And that is because perhaps he has really understood the need of the assignment he has been given and the people who mattered. He's worked with 6 chief ministers, he's worked with 17 chief secretaries, and post-retirement, and this is really, really amazing. This is not something which comes every day to everyone. He has had 10 extensions post-retirement. This single credit of his, and I know he's very humble about it, this is what really, in fact, he said, don't put all these things, this is only, I said, no, we must let people know that post-retirement you can still excel and still be useful to society. I think that is the message he's giving us. That is his mentor, Sridharan, very early. And after that, I think he has shown the way how metro projects can be done after Sridharan started it. Very quickly, I don't think we should spend much time on it, but we will mention, incidentally, in the Railways Guardian, he was nice enough to give us an article. So most of these things are there in that. He will talk about these things himself in his speech. But the opportunities for us as retired railwaymen and also serving railwaymen, he will tell us something about this. There are so many firsts for Hyderabad Metro. I don't know how many of you know that this is a project where 80% of the, first of all, it's one of the first PPP, perhaps the first PPP mode project in Metro. And 80% private company is willing to put it into a state government project. That is the confidence in which they had in him as MD. And so many other technical aspects. Litigations, land acquisition. Most of our railway projects get held up only because we're not able to acquire very legitimately the land. But in an urban area like Hyderabad, there were more than 370 cases in the court. Others were settled out, but 370 went to the court, and he was there handling it with his legal team. And what is amazing is, I believe latest count is that all of them, they have HMRL as one. Now that calls for a leadership which is really, at it. Some other aspects of him we'll go on to. He is a very, very passionate environmentalist. Last count, the social cost of carbon emission which has been saved is a staggering 350 crores. 350 crores of carbon emissions have been saved because, metro has been introduced. Otherwise, there were so many, and this is an elevated metro, which is more eco-friendly than underground metros. See, that is the difference, and we as railwaymen will surely appreciate that sort of a interesting aspect. Regenerative braking, of course, it's there in our trains also. That is what was put into the metro rails. About 15 lakh trees were planted, and about over 2,000 trees were translocated, and he was there doing it every day in and out, helping that particular effort to go on without any problems. And I think overall, at the end of the day, we are happy that, in spite of the pollution which Delhi is facing, Hyderabad is spared of that because we have a metro in time, so that our roads don't get congested and our pollution levels do not go up. People are migrating from Delhi to Hyderabad perhaps for that reason. A lot of good stations, all of us have seen this, we have experienced it. So I requested him for some slides and he shared them with us. We are very happy about that. And yes, this I think goes to the credit of Hyderabad Metro as a team. Almost all the stations, all the major operating stations, you can see the blue ones are the blue line and the red is the red line. These stations have been rated as platinum stations by the IGBC. There's a rating agency, all of you know, and these stations have been given a rating. It's an international agency which has given this rating. So I think all in all, I believe for a railwayman to take the metro to a next level, focusing on climate change and focusing on environment, is surely a great achievement, and we are happy that he's been there doing it. Yes, NVS is a poet. I didn't know it till he rang me up and said, would you like to come to my book release? I said, what? And I believe he started with writing songs and he integrated metro with that. So, Mardala Maisamma Metro Rail Ochindi. I tell you, these are catchy phrases and the Telangana public have loved it. At all Ganesh Pandals, they've been blared, I believe, and he's also written a book on long poems. He's also writing short stories now. I think now that he'll have a little more time, writing short stories on this. But what is amazing is that, when you're in the midst of such heavy stress, if you take up writing poems, that only speaks of, his multitasking capability. We must really compliment NVS for being that, from our railway group. That is the book he wrote. Some other day maybe we should listen to you on this. Yeah, I think this is a little lengthy introduction for a speaker, but I think it's worth every single slide I made for him. He is an inspirational speaker, and you name the Management Institute. He has put India on the international university map. The Ivy League, Stanford, Harvard, ISB, they all have case studies of Hyderabad Metro. And of course, his leadership style has also been described very profusely in that. I could have avoided this, but not every railwayman gets an opportunity to have photo ops with such people. You have Modi there, you have the president, you have the vice president, and 5 chief ministers in the metro of Andhra Pradesh. And in his power sector days, the earlier Chief Minister of Combined Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. So this is basically a profile of NVS, a lot of awards, and as just mentioned, he has taken over as the advisor to the government. He's still associated but not operationally directly with HMRL. He's now looking after urban transport. He leaves a memorable legacy behind I think it is on safe hands and safe wheels. And I think we at the Retired Officers Association deem it a privilege to have him here address us today. And I will not take any more further. We will request our chief guest to kindly induct him into the Achievers Club officially, and after which he will address us on the subject which we are all waiting for. So can we have Mr. NVS ready? Yeah. Sir.
Thank you, sir, for that very, very enlightening and superb introduction of our keynote speaker. Some individuals just don't build projects. They build our confidence while transforming our future. With respect and admiration, we would like to felicitate Shri NVS Reddy Garu. I request all the guests on stage to felicitate. Some people build structures, some build systems, but a rare few build cities that move. NVS Reddy Garu is a man who transformed congestion into connectivity, delay into discipline, and daily commute into dependable comfort. He is fondly known as the Metro Man and is the architect of the Hyderabad Metro Rail. Thank you very much, sir. I invite today's keynote speaker, Shri NVS Reddy Garu, to kindly respond. I'm sure all of you are eagerly waiting to listen to him because the topic is so very interesting, post-retirement opportunities, and who else can enlighten us better than NVS Reddy Garu? Thank you, sir.
Can we shift? Just 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Sure. Before we listen to Mr. NVS Reddy, let me also inform some of those who have come in for the first time that, we conduct an annual J.J. Rao Memorial Lecture. Mr. J.J. Rao was founder of Retired Officers Association. We are very happy that every year in his memory we conduct this lecture. NVS will be delivering that lecture. So before we listen to NVS on that lecture, I think it would be befitting if we gave some sort of an introduction. Can we go back to the earlier slide? Can you remove that? We'll have a quick look at Mr. J.J. Rao and then we'll come on to this. Let's go back to the earlier presentation.
Hello? Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah, go.
I'm sorry, the slides have to be advanced.
To share the details of today's significance.
Respected President, Chief Guest Sri V.S. Shastri Garu, retired FNCA, and our today's keynote address speaker and Achievers Club member, Sri NVS Reddy Garu. I can't add any more adjectives to his name, and other invitees, my colleague, managing committee members across and off and off the, on and off the dais, invitees and my ex-colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Before we proceed to today's memorial lecture on Sri J.J. Rao Memorial Lecture, we name it, let us pause for a moment and remember his life and vision, in whose honor this lecture series is held. Mr. B. J.J. Rao was born in 1921 in a humble family in Guntur district. Sri J.J. Rao rose through determination and became a civil engineer from Madras University. He joined the Indian Railways in 1948 through IRSC and served the organization with distinction for over 3 decades. He retired in 1979 as Chief Commissioner of Railway Safety, which is in fact a post equivalent to General Manager that way. Retirement, however, did not end his contribution in life. He remained professionally active, and his book, Accident on Rails, is incidentally even today referred by many of the railwaymen. And it is a good reference book. But for AIRROA, our remembrance is something little different. He will be remembered always for his visionary, as a visionary founder. In fact, those days he foreseen that retired railway employees did not have any proper collective representation, and he took all the initiative in 1985 to form our association, AIRROA. Later, he served as the president of this organization for about 18 years, but of course in different spells, and remained a guiding force among us, and he continued as an advisor till his end. In fact, he passed away in the year 2009. It was he who started this Railways Guardian. In fact, it's one of the household book as far as retired railway officers are concerned. We have been continuing this journal very religiously, because everybody rings up and asks what happened to my journal. It has not come. It has become very important communication channel between the AIRROA and its members. His belief that railway officers must continue to apply their technical knowledge and safety values even after retirement is deeply relevant today. Therefore, topic post-retirement career opportunities of railway officers is the topic that we have selected as a topic today, in which Mr. Sri N.V.S. Reddy would be giving a keynote address, and there is none other than Mr. N.V.S. Reddy, because he is almost, it has been already explained, he has been a legend on Hyderabad Metro Rail. This series was started in 2011 and has been regularly continued, except for 2 years during the Corona time. Now the 14th lecture in the series is going to be presented by Mr. Reddy Garu. Yeah, 14. Yeah, we are privileged that Sri Nalin Kumar, who is a senior counsel of High Court of Telangana, is very much here. I would request Nalin Kumar to be here. In fact,
he is the son of J.J. Rao garu.
He's son of. Yeah. We are really not only privileged and honored. I would request. Can you just? It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, thank you very much for your kind presence, and we are indeed privileged and honored by your presence. Thank you. Now I will stage to Mr. NVS Reddy Garu to educate us on the opportunities that we have after retirement. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nalin Kumar Garu, for gracing the occasion. He is a senior advocate in the High Court and lives in Tarnaka. A memorial lecture is not simply a remembrance alone. It is continuation of thought and an opportunity to pay tribute to Sri J.J. Rao Garu, who has created this platform for all the retired officers to meet frequently. I now invite the keynote speaker, Sri NVS Reddy Garu, to kindly address the gathering.
Respected Sri V.S. Shastri Garu, who was my boss and mentor, dear friend Venkateshwar Garu, respected seniors, dear colleague, official, still working as well as retired railway officers and friends. It gives me immense pleasure. I deem it a privilege and an honor to deliver Sri J.J. Rao's memorial lecture. In fact, when Mr. Venkateshwar asked me to select this topic, I was a bit hesitant, but he said, see, many of our people would like to know what you have done, what pioneering work you have done in railways, metro rail, and then what the retired officers can look for in the metro corporations, which are being, now it's about 25 cities in the country, metro rail corporations are there. So this is the topic he has chosen. Already it's covered. Mr. J.J. Rao Garu, he was a legend, such a brilliant and eminent railway engineer. Not only he was an eminent railway engineer, he was also a multifaceted personality. His contributions were already mentioned. So I will not spend much time on that. I only pay my tributes to the great soul. Then I also deem it an honor, and I humbly accept the honor that you are conferring on me today by inducting me into this Achievers Club. Friends, retired life is not the end of the road. In fact, it is the beginning of the second innings, and it perhaps throws many more challenges, because once we were in service, we have to confine ourselves actually to the government rules, regulations, etc., etc. But once you are retired, you can follow your passion, you can follow your heart, you can do many more things, whatever you want to do in life, and at the same time, contribute to the nation's growth. So, with these words, I will start first what we have done, some of the pioneering work, some of the engineering and financial innovation which we have brought to metro sector, not only in this country, but in the world itself, which is today being recognized as Mr. Venkateshwar, almost he has covered half of my lecture topic. So Stanford, Harvard, ISB, everybody has covered that. Case studies have been published as to what we have done, how we have contributed. It's like this. When I embarked upon the Hyderabad metro journey in PPP mode, there were not metros in PPP mode. There was only one metro in Bangkok, 35 kilometers, done in PPP mode, but it was more a sweetheart deal. No proper documents were there for that. So we had to create the documents. Why I mention this is, in railways, so because of 150 years of legacy, we have got all the documents available. Yeah, most of us, we do not even read, what is the contract, we are signing, we simply sign. But once you are starting a new thing, everything you'll have to do it yourself. That's how we started with RFQ, that is a request for qualification. After request for qualification, RFP, that is a request for proposal. So then how it has to be panned out, everything we had to do it ourselves. DCA, that is the concession agreement, which we have done. I worked with Mr. Gajendra Haldia, who was a brilliant IAS officer and was a lawyer. He was the one behind the reforms, Dr. P.V. Narasimha Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao Gari reforms. He was a part of that. Actually, he was, as joint secretary, he authored many things. He and I published this, we prepared this concession agreement. In fact, whole night discussion, debates used to take place on each clause of these things, because there are so many complications when you are doing a project of this magnitude in public-private partnership, because international lawyers will come with dictionaries in Japanese language, Spanish language, French language, etc., etc. So you have to be able to understand, because sometimes Indian law perhaps doesn't cover the whole gamut of what they are expecting. All these things we have incorporated. I would request many of you people actually I will give these books. Please try to go through these books so that you understand. You can't be a simple engineer, or you can't be a simple finance man, or you can't be a simple personnel expert. See, if you have to work in a project like this, one has to broaden one's perspective and try to get knowledge in different fields. This is the concession agreement which we have prepared. And I'm more proud of this manual of specifications and standards. For the first time in the world, we produced a manual of specifications and standards for a metro rail project, which is completely technology neutral. Technology neutral has got lots of meanings. It's technology agnostic. We did not give any importance to any particular technology. We made it open technology. I have to contribute, of course, there's no time. Otherwise, I would have mentioned so many things. People like Mr. S.P. Iyer, okay, Mr. Satish Kumar, Mr. C.B. Karo, all these people, 8 brilliant railway engineers, I have gathered them, and we have done that. Of course, I had to first de-school them. I said, you are all brilliant engineers, you have done wonders, decades of life you have spent in railways, doing bridges, tunnels, etc., etc. But you please forget all that. Completely I had to de-school them. I said, now we are in a different environment, we have to make it financially viable, you have to make it commercially viable, and you have to learn legal language for that. You can't believe Mr. S.P. Iyer used to start at 7 o'clock in the morning till late night, he used to work. And all these people, they used to go to lawyers, and first time their eyes opened up, oh, this is the thing, etc. So we published it. Now both these documents, first of all over the world, actually they say that, my God, India has produced this book. So that credit we got, and both my books of concession agreement and this manual of specifications and standards, all railway engineers, I request, please go through this. Each chapter contains on track, on rolling stock, on signaling, every aspect we have covered this. Now these two are made mandatory documents. Actually, Government of India published at the time, the Planning Commission published these documents, and now metro rails will have to follow these documents. So this is basically about this, and I will not get much into details. Basically, in a PPP project, what happens is, there are 3 players. One is the government authority, which was represented by me. The other one is the concessionaire, represented by L&T. The third one is the lender, which is 10 banks, headed by SBI. So how the risks and rewards will have to be balanced and allocated in such a careful and calibrated manner that nobody gets advantage, nobody gets disadvantage. So I had to protect the government's interests on the one hand, and at the same time, enough design innovation scope for a private sector to make it financially viable, to reduce the costs as much as possible, and to increase the revenue as much as possible without causing any damage to the public exchequer. This is basically the thing. I will not get further into this. When we discuss separately, this itself is a big topic which all of us will have to understand, and we can further improve on that. This is basically allocation of risks and rewards. And then when I started, see, with all this, after preparing the documents, etc., many of you are aware that Meta's failure, and after that, the full, this lecture I give, crisis management in IIMs, IITs, and other international fora. What all we face, when I show these document slides, actually, people can't believe that these things happen in India. Metro Rail, future actions to be subject to court order petition. Is it goodbye Metro Rail? Hyderabad Metro Rail project in limbo. Uncertainty continues over Metro Rail. Andhra cancels Meta's deal. Chikkadpalli traders down shutters. Every second day my effigy used to be burnt, many of you are aware, in some part of Hyderabad or other. Okay? And the religious things which we had to, about 300 religious structures had to handle as a part of this project. So Hindus used to say that is anti-Hindu, Muslims used to say that is anti-Muslim, Christians used to say is anti-Christian. Right from the church here, Metagoda Church. All these things, see, so many things. Every day we used to have problems and we used to resolve. Mind you, not a single religious structure I touched. We tried to give engineering solutions for everything, but we faced, see, all these issues. HC High Court stay on metro works. Metro rail work hit expected roadblock. Government schools, Medha Patkar, led by Medha Patkar, all the anarchists of the country came, agitated against my project, against me, burnt my effigy, etc. I said, to your heart's content you burn, I care a damn if you want to burn my effigy. Anyway, we went ahead, and that kind of a guts we had, and we developed that courage of conviction. So tackling challenges, there are many, but broadly I would indicate about 204 acres of private land we had to acquire in the heart of the city. It was a tough job. 3,000 properties had to be acquired. As Mr. Venkateshwar has already mentioned, 370 court cases, here 360, it's indicated, all 370 we won. Practically, I had to dictate all these things for 10 years, not a single day, whether it is Saturday, Sunday, all the time. Either I used to be on the road or I used to dictate these things because I had only a team of engineers. Engineers, simple mathematical calculations they would do, whereas lawyers, they would write pages and pages and pages. I had to personally dictate all these things. We have done all that, we have won. In that process, I have learnt engineering, I have learnt finance, I have learnt legal, etc., many things which all of us will have to basically upskill our knowledge and skill sets. Alignment, refinement, we have done many things, basically handling all these religious structures, etc. Fixation of station locations, because these are all important aspects, to maximize the access to metro. We have carefully done that. Coordination among central and state government departments itself is a big task. I must admit, it's not a criticism, please don't take it as a criticism. Railways, it took 4 years for me to get permissions to get crossings, 8 crossings we had to cross. All sorts of conditions they put. I said, any condition you put, but please allow me to cross the railway track. So that was the thing. National highways, it took 3 years for me. Defense, it took 3 years for me. Airport authority, etc. All these things. In all these things, I completely had to ring fence the concessionaire so that the blame is on us, but not on the concessionaire. You know how people try to extract, like vultures, political leaders, would try to extract money from these people. I said, nothing doing, not a rupee will be paid. I am proud to say that not a rupee we have paid to anybody in this project. That's how ring fencing is done. Shifting of utilities, etc., trees cutting, as I mentioned, you have already seen, we have gone for many innovative methods and we got all the tree cutting permissions. The technologies which we have brought, CBTC technology, those of you who are signaling and telecom engineers would appreciate, for the first time in the country, I brought this technology to India. Mr. Sridharan, my guru, I have a lot of respect for him. He said, we have not done it in Delhi Metro. Why are you going for CBTC technology? I said, sir, distance to go signaling is getting outdated in the world. This is the latest technology. This is the dream I had when I went to Paris and other European cities. We would bring this technology. We brought it. After that, now every metro in India is following CBTC technology. Practically, it gives you 2-minute frequency. On a single line, you can bring 2 trains as close as 40 meters. In fact, theoretically it gives us 1.5 minute frequency, but because of the track limitation, we we are running at 2.5 minutes frequency here, 2.5 minute frequency here. AFC gates, again, near field communication with your phone, you can operate the gates, etc. This is again first time we brought the technology to India from South Korea. Okay, like that there are many things which we ourselves could have done in Indian Railways. Unfortunately, Indian Railways being a government monopoly, we have not advanced in these technologies. That's how 2 things we missed in India, the railway sector. One is the high-speed rail, the other one is the metro, which now we are catching up. both. So ultra-modern coaches, these are not simple dabbas, these are intelligent, they communicate with each other, each train communicates with the other, and every fraction of a second tells its position, where it is there, and the whole thing is practically it's driverless technology. We operate from the operation control center, which is very much here in Uppal. Those of you who are interested, I would, as a special, normally we are not allowing anybody because it's a very, very sensitive one, but I would make a special arrangement for you people if you want to see how we do the operations through our...
NVS, I take this opportunity. Thank you very much. In fact, many of them were asking as to how do we have access. Sure. I would request you, and on behalf of the Retired Officers Association, we'll make an arrangement at his convenience. Sure. We'll fix up. A group of us will go and visit the key places to understand. Those who are interested, of course. Yeah. So we'll go to the metro, both the control room, the depot, and so on and so forth. Thank you for that offer.
Welcome. Similarly, ballast technology, 60 kg rails, we have first time, we have produced now, all metros are following these things. Then there are many other things I will not spend. 85% of the entire construction, we made it precast. There is another challenge I gave it to, I'll explain when I show the photos, how the entire stations were constructed outside and brought and built overnight without disturbing the traffic. Sleek piers, again, very, as railway officers, we are not able to advocate our advantages. Rail is the most, after water, rail is the most energy efficient for any system. Our logistics cost in India is around 14%, whereas the global norm is 8%. Why today we are not able to bring down our logistics cost for the economy from 14% to 8% is unfortunately the kind of emphasis which we should have given to rail sector has not been given. The emphasis that is required for water sector we have not given. That's how the traffic is taken away by road. All of you are well aware how the traffic gets diverted to road. In fact, we must advocate strongly the advantages of rail. Rail is 5 times energy efficient when compared to road. Normally, in the urban sector, 1 rail line is equal to 7 bus lanes or 24 car lanes. No country in the world, no city in the world can afford 24 car lanes. You can't have only just roads. This is the efficiency of metro rail, which we'll have to strongly advocate. Now slowly the country is realizing. Of course, we used curing compound and there are many other things actually. And sleep, people were not initially believing that NOC. They used to say that NVS Reddy is going to destroy the city. But you have now seen only in the central median, 2 meters we have taken, hardly 7 feet, and the entire structure has come. Now everybody is saying that in the state government, Chief Minister keeps mentioning what a metro is doing. Why don't you people do? You should do that. That kind of a thing, build that kind of structures without wasting much of road space. This is the one. Normally, elevated stations are all built as portal structures. Those who are civil engineers understand very well. In the middle of the road, you have 1 pillar. This side of the road, one side, 1 pillar. This side is 1 pillar. So 3 pillars. On that, there is a beam. Okay, this is a portal which is easy to construct. The challenge I gave to L&T, the brilliant engineers, I said, why should we do it as a portal structure? Why can't we make it a balanced cantilever structure? So we struggled for 6 months. Extraordinary brilliant engineers, they worked with me. Okay, so as a bird has got spine and 2 wings, spine 9 meters, 2 wings, each wing 5.5 meters, 5.5 meters. So 5.5 plus 5.5, 11 meters plus 9 meters, 20 meter. I have standardized the station design, 20 meters width by 138 meters length. So that's how the entire construction, I said not even for half an hour I'll stop the traffic. Okay, I can't afford to close a road like Begumpet. Actually, the connection between Hyderabad and Secunderabad gets cut off. Okay, so this we have done it. The entire thing, all these things we have precast in our Uppal casting yard and Kutbullapur casting yard, and we brought it to the city. In the night, it used to be fixed so that no traffic disturbance, nothing. People were so happy to see that actually, whereas all others, I used to tell Mr. Sridharan, later he came and he said, my God, what you people have done is an engineering wonder. He acknowledged later, much later. Okay, whereas they have closed their roads, they have diverted the traffic, etc., whether it is Chennai, whether it is Bengaluru, etc. So a lot of disturbance was there. In Hyderabad, there was no disturbance. We were able to do that. So again, we can have a session, technical session, how we have done all these things. So this is how it happens. Okay, so that there is no tunnel effect. Side only that the entire station is only dependent on, can you please go to the slide? Just go back. Please go back. Go back. Yeah. Thank you. So this the entire session. So there's paucity of time when I will not spend much time. And all the time used to be it was called NVS Reddy's famous Padayatra. All the time I used to walk 10 kilometers. I used to tell L&T engineers that you can't make designs in sitting in AC rooms. You come with me, I'll tell you. There are 2,600 pillars for Hyderabad Metro. I can tell you on each pillar how we have spent and how we have solved all the time on the road itself. And I used to give the design specifications to them. That's how we saved many properties. So whether it is municipal work, whether it is water board work, everything we were doing it. All the time we used to be on the road. And that's how we have to convince opposition MLAs, whether it is Mr. JP or anybody, we convince them. So this is how we have done so much of engineering work. I used to tell our railway engineers, please come and see. ME and all, at the time Mr. Subodh Jain and all these people, they came, they appreciated and they tried to introduce some of these things into the latest technologies into Indian Railways. So all these things we were doing, the 3,000 structures. No, GHMC was never able to attempt these structures. We have demolished and we have widened the roads. Okay, this is how we actually see. For this, it seems, I was destroying the schools. They said Medha Patkar came and agitated. Now I don't know where Medha Patkar disappeared. Beautiful schools, 4 schools are built, and people are extremely happy. Now the joke, for a long time in state government is that let us hand over all these properties to NVS Reddy. He will build us. IAS officers, I used to tell them, your quarters are worse than our clerks' quarters in railways. I used to tell them, give me the land. Actually, I will construct beautiful flats for you people. They used to say that. Anyway, so we have done all these things. Okay, these are all the different stages of metro rail construction, even to get that beautiful shape. I've written poetry about that, how the piers have got the shape. This is the engineering behind it. Okay, at the peak, 16 launching girders were there, maximum for any city, and that's how we were able to complete this project. So this is how the whole thing, segments. American Assistant Secretary of State, she straight landed here. She wanted to understand what is the technology and how we are able to do this. I have taken her to that Uppal depot. What used to be like this, then casting yard. What used to be like this, today the latest technologies center it has become. So that's how the beautiful shape has come. Okay, over the railway tracks, as I mentioned, over the flyovers, etc. There were dozens of flyovers, 8 railway tracks, all these things we have crossed with this technology. This is how step by step it happens. So since paucity of time, I will explain later how the station has to be built without disturbing the traffic. So this is Chelkalguda ROB. When the trains were passing, how we were able to do that. Same. So these are all the things. This is the, thank you. So parade grounds you have seen, one side flyover is there, another side one track is there, another over that we had to build another track. The kind of problems we face now, lots of engineering challenges. Our engineers, brilliant engineers. So this is the Uppal what offer I made. Say we will give you access to this. We will show you how we run the trains from their Uppal depot. This is the operation control center. Now coming to the present. Now you have seen what is there in metros and what is there in railways. You have the domain knowledge, there is no doubt actually. But the developments that are happening, you have to understand. First of all, infrastructure, tremendous. Thanks to Modi ji's government, now emphasis is there. What China was doing 2 decades ago, now we are doing the same thing. Be it railway expansion, massive expansion is taking place in railways, massive expansion is taking place national highways, ports, a lot of work is going on. Okay, metros, about 25 cities, as I mentioned, metro projects are there. Lakhs of crores of rupees is being done. This is all basically to reduce the logistics cost in the country, improve the infrastructure, and make country a Viksit Bharat, as our Prime Minister keeps mentioning. So this is the thing. Rapid urbanization has created the need for metro rails. As I mentioned, 25 cities we are having. There's a high demand for railway engineers. In fact, we are having problems. We are training youngsters in metro rail technologies, but because of intense competition, poaching is taking place. From the Gulf countries, they are offering, Dubai, etc., they are offering 3 times the salaries which we pay here. and they are going away. The turnover is very high, but luckily a lot of people want to stay in Hyderabad. That's why we were able to retain them. So there is scope for retired railway technical people. Definitely, I say, though I am no longer in the metro, I will definitely get to once the phase 2 starts, a lot of opportunities will get thrown open for you people, for those who want to still actively work. Here basically the broad domains are project management execution is one aspect, metro rail operations and maintenance is another one, finance, accounts and internal audit is another major area in the metro we require people. Consultancy and advisory services, many of you can join consultancy services. It's much easier because many metro rail corporations put the age limit of 62 and in exceptional cases 65. But consultancy services, there is no such thing. Many consultancy we have, GC is there, general consultants now, for example, Sistra till the other day they were working with us, Louis Berger was working with us, and most of them are foreign companies, consultancy companies. If you see their qualifications, so-called foreign experts, they were very ordinary people. When compared to them, our railway engineers are much more capable, much more competent. Okay, lots of things can be done by the railway engineers. The scope is there. Regulatory and statutory compliances, you know much better. Okay, that is another major area. CMRS, we call CRS, becomes Commission of Metro Rail Safety in Metro Rail. Testing and commissioning with CMRS certification. Training and capacity building is another thing. We have a training center here. We are training many youngsters in metro rail technologies, and I have also encouraged a private company to start metro rail technology. And there are also, as I mentioned, corporate and global opportunities. Now many private companies are getting into rail and metro rail. So there is a lot of scope there also. Specialized technical knowledge, which all our railway officers have got. Metro projects require this experience. Okay. Basically, in terms of civil engineering, whether it is viaduct, track, okay, or any in electrical engineering, power systems, OHE, S&T, train control, rolling stock. These are all the areas which you are very familiar with. We can you can give your expertise in these fields. Project development and construction, basically, DPR preparation itself is a specialized task actually. See, you can peruse our DPRs and how to prepare these DPRs and approvals. Okay, tendering and contracts. Earlier it used to be item rate contracts. I don't know what you are following in railways. From item rate I introduced in state government when I was in GHMC. EPC contracts I introduced for the first time. Initially there was a lot of resistance, but now government issued a GO, everybody is following EPC when compared to item rate contract. EPC now, okay. And the next stage is, yeah. Next stage is PPP. PPP is one very good opportunity somehow railways is not able to use. In fact, of course, today railway has become a part of government budget, Indian government budget, so there is no restriction now, right now, see, on finances. But earlier, we could have made use of PPPs, so the tremendous station development could have been in PPP. That would have given us a tremendous opportunity, tremendous advantage, because the kind of engineering talent which private sector can bring, okay, by paying very high salaries, the same thing we cannot do it in government, that's my firm belief. But somehow, see, PPPs are not that successful right now. Slowly it is happening in railways also. Tendering and contracts, as I mentioned. Interagency coordination becomes extremely important. Construction of viaducts, etc., which I have already covered. Okay. Typical metro roles, if you see, project director at a very high level, senior officers, experts, advisors, many of the retired engineers or finance people can be in these roles. General consultant, GC is an important area, clients representative. Similarly, from the client side also, a lot of engineers are required. Construction management specialists, field engineers are also, field engineers, in fact, we are finding the shortage. Field engineers, slightly at a younger age, or those who have got, retired, but a lot of energy and enthusiasm is there. They can be field engineers, independent engineers. A few of them, right now here, they are working with me. They're retired railway engineers. Technical due diligence experts, also we require. And regulatory framework, railway officers are very familiar with. Okay, specs and standards, basically we follow the specifications and standards broadly approved by Ministry of Railways and then RDSO. Interface management between civil structures, track, rolling stock, signaling, train control, and PSD, that is platform screen doors. Okay, this interface is very essential. Operating rule books, SOPs, etc. You won't believe, in France, one metro they built, and in one station they bungled it. The rolling stock, there was no proper coordination between the civil structure guy and the rolling stock guys. And as a result, when they were about to open their Paris Metro, one particular section, they had to cancel it because, there was not enough gap. So these are there are extremely sensitive issues actually. Proper integration, coordination, and all these things would be required between different engineering departments, which we have ensured most of the, in fact, now people are coming from abroad to India and trying to understand how India is building these metro rail structures. Trial runs, CMRS safety certification, etc. So basically, metro corporations we desperately need is that system integration engineers are the most important, especially between rolling stock, electrical, and signaling. Who are the people who can help us? That's an important area. Safety experts and review experts also. Commissioning and readiness advisors we're looking at. IR operating officers and all engineering departments, you have excellent knowledge and you have experience, decades of experience, because under extreme pressure, you people also work. Same is the situation with us, for us. In fact, the pressure was much more for us. So again, railway talent will be useful, railway knowledge will be useful. Metro system, but only difference is that, as I mentioned, metro technologies are much more advanced when compared to rail technologies. So slowly one has to get familiarized with CBTC technology. Then GOA 4 is another one, grid of upgradation now, grid of adaptation is now four level, GOA 4 has come. Okay, this is practically a driverless technology. Then grid of automation, yeah. O&M, setting up basically rules of the road, see timetabling and all these things you are familiar with. Traffic officers can help us. Railway officers have decades of experience in all these things, whether it is timetabling and capacity building, asset management regimes, depot management, staff training, rule books, manuals, accident prevention, all these areas, railway, all of you have tremendous experience. It will be useful in the metro sector. Metro rails are basically O&M readiness advisors would be required. Chief operations persons will be there, maintenance advisors, O&M personnel, lot of requirement is there. Civil, electrical, mechanical, and S&T engineers requirement is there. Station controllers, section controllers, and zonal controllers we require. Many of the people are working, we have trained them. Performance and reliability improvement also is an important area. Sorry, I have throat infection, so frequently I have to have water. Okay. Senior officers, railway officers, especially IRSC, IRAS, IRSSE, IRSS, you people are well versed in land acquisition, tendering process, procurement, vendor management, which is highly useful, both in consultancy firms as well as metro corporations. If opportunities are there, one has to explore these things. So railway officers have tremendous advantage in terms of manpower management, high pressure public service delivery, crisis management, safety and critical decision making. Okay, financial, even the youngsters, if they're trained also, the maturity will not be coming unless some senior guides them. So there, the role of retired officers will be essential. Financial discipline, audit, vigilance, CAG procedures, all these things, again, we can't teach youngsters who we are recruiting. So retired railway talent will be useful here. The main advantage of retired officers is that you have maturity in taking decisions. Institutional discipline is there, because by nature, railway officers, we are disciplined. Okay, institutional discipline is there. Governance-oriented thinking we have automatically, which is very essential. Risk-aware management also is there, that's the advantage. So, and you people understand, all of us, as railway people, we understand how the ministries work. This is very essential, especially whether it is Mahua, Niti Aayog, PIB, cabinet, how to make the proposals, how to take to the acceptance level, how audit CVC, CAG, CRS and other statutory bodies will function. This is another aspect. How to structure the files, notes, justification. For a new person, it will be totally different, whereas all of us are familiar with these things. So for whether it is DPR approval, cost control, revision, or cost variations, claims management, dispute avoidance, DRM, that is, DRM is dispute resolution mechanism, okay, and arbitration. These aspects also, railway knowledge will be very useful. Basically, metro projects are suffering from my observation is that, because I keep interacting with the MDs of all other metros, basically, fragmented knowledge. Some knowledge the consultants have, some knowledge the contractors have, some knowledge the client organization has, but how do we integrate? Is there lack of integration of, and an integrated thinking, which railway officers automatically they have, because all the time we work together. So that will be useful for, metro is nothing but an extension of railways with better technologies. Simple as that. Over dependence, our major problem is OEMs, so the original equipment manufacturers, they're looting us, they're holding us to ransom. It is time that India starts producing most of these things ourselves. The main idea of PPP for me to start this project in PPP is that I realize the limitations of government thinking, government issues, because of vigilance, audit, etc. We will not be able to do beyond a point. I thought actually we would invite a giant like L&T and we start mastering many of these technologies. Definitely we have mastered, but much more needs to be done. Delhi Metro is also trying to do some work. We are trying to do, each of us, we are trying to indigenize. When I started the metro project, almost 80% of my things we had to import from small countries like South Korea, etc. But today we are able to produce most of the things ourselves. Rolling stock also now has come to India. Alstom, all of you must be familiar. Sri City itself, we have established a factory, and Baroda there is another rolling stock factory, which are metro coaches actually. See, BEML Bangalore also is producing. Again, you can tap the sources there with your contacts. You will get opportunities if one wants to work there. Okay, this is the problem, OEMs. And a lot of components actually will have to be supplied. Components, would like now to indigenize these technologies rather than depending upon spending foreign agencies and spending forex. Okay, foreign consultants, they're so-called foreign consultants. I have seen in their things. In fact, one of the foreign consultants, I said, you talk like an engineer and don't talk like a history guy, speaking, repeating all nonsense. Actually, they're not that great. Most of them came actually from PWA cadre or equivalent cadre. Okay. They're not really that brilliant engineers, but over a period of time, they're able to specialize in a particular area and call themselves experts. When compared to our railway engineers can do much better if you concentrate on a specific area and start specializing in that. Weak owners engineering capabilities, as I mentioned. Okay, railway officers can provide, basically, you have an overall perspective. So owner system knowledge is there, safety culture is there, life cycle management. With that, I'll almost coming to an end. So the basic challenges and adaptation, if you see, while as I mentioned, the technical knowledge and skills of IR officers are a match, the transition requires a little bit of adjustment and a little bit of upgradation of skills. Basically, technology leap in terms of GOA4 technology, driverless technology, CBTC technology, one has to become familiar with how do you do in CBTC environment. Okay, corporate culture is another thing which is lacking in Indian Railways, unfortunately. But we in metro, see, for example, the challenge I took was that actually Singapore and Hong Kong per kilometer, they were the lowest operating costs in the world. Okay, I told L&T, let us beat Singapore and Hong Kong. Today we are able to beat their 25 persons per kilometer, track kilometer, Singapore and Hong Kong, they appoint. We are able to achieve 19 per kilometer, track kilometer. This is what we have done. This is how you have to reduce the cost. Not like Indian Railways having thousands and thousands of people. In Konkan Railway also we try to do that. Same person, you give the toolkit and motorcycle, etc. He will do everything. Okay. Instead of having 10 assistants going all spending money, public exchequer money, we have done that. Corporate culture is very essential. One has to incorporate this corporate culture. Urban complexity, this is another. Railways, see, you have the advantage. You can work in jungles, you can work in greenfield areas outside the cities. But here, as I have shown the slides, see, Sultan Bazaar, you can't imagine the kind of problems we faced. I show these things actually. As Jain Mandir is there, almost touching Jain Mandir, we were having our launching girder, and people were hanging clothes below, and still they were doing the dhanda. As we were demolishing houses, still structures, still the chaps were not vacating. They were attacking our police guys, or they were attacking our people. Okay, this kind of a environment we work in, so that one has to get used to it if one has to work in the metro environment. So this is the urban complexity which I'm talking about. And once you dig, you don't know what all you get in as power lines, sewer lines, okay, water lines, etc. Not even for half an hour you can stop the water connection or sewer connection. The whole colony will go berserk actually if that happens. So all these things need to be extremely, and there is no, I mean, these are not textbook cases actually. You have to use your native intelligence, how you solve the problem there, it's then and there. The kind of empowerment I made it to my engineers and officers. I said, anything I'll sanction, but go ahead and see that actually by tomorrow morning there should be nothing there, actually no complaint should come from any of the colony people. So this is how we have to function. So cost control and financial viability also at the same time, it's a major challenge. The problem for us today in metro is that, for example, our L&T borrowed 15,000 crore at 10% interest rate. Okay, whereas in Western countries and developed countries, they get interest rate in a hardly 1%, 2%. Okay, they are not able to make profit, but here, O&M wise, we have broken even, L&T is making profit. But because of the huge burden, debt burden of 15,000 crore at 10% interest rate, and we have done complete debt swapping, we were able to bring down the debt interest rate from 10% to 7%. But even at 7%, L&T is losing about 1,000 crore per day. That's how, when you see, they were giving up their hands actually. So that's how the state government decided, now let us take over the project and go further, because again, government of India also put a lot of conditions. How do you match between a private sector metro and the government metro? These are all issues which I'll not get into. So this becomes, every officer, every railway officer who comes to metro, he has to become a finance man as well. Okay, I keep saying that finance is not finance chap's job actually. An engineer can do better finance job when compared to a finance guy, because basically the innovation should come from the engineers. Okay, that's how actually, how do we reduce the cost? How do we maximize the income actually? If that comes, then metros will become profitable. Hopefully Hyderabad metro should turn around even in terms of capital expenditure very soon. Okay, that's the interest burden. So we are having an interest burden of about 800 crore per annum right now. So that is the loss that is causing. Otherwise, operationally, L&T is making good money. Okay, debt and interest burden, I have mentioned it. So railway PSUs, they keep mentioning now everybody, whether it is IRCON, RITES, RVNL, RailTel, etc. And then Metro Rail Corporation, DMRC is advertising, BMRCL is advertising, Chennai Metro is advertising, Gujarat Metro, HMRL, L&T. Of course, HMRL, we basically recruit through Keolis. Keolis website you can see. Okay, basically recruitment takes place through Keolis, for Hyderabad Metro. Okay, in terms of all these areas, again, I don't have to repeat, same thing, whatever which we have discussed earlier. These are all the areas: project execution and commissioning, O&M safety, signaling and train control, accounts, finance, audit, internal audit, QA/QC systems, training and knowledge training centers, and then upgradation of technical skills, etc. So how do you utilize the opportunity? This is the ultimately core of the thing. Action, basically look up the respective Metro Rail websites will be there. There you will find what kind of vacancies are available, and one can try those things. And even other private sector undertakings, other government entities, PSUs are looking for CVO, etc., which Mr. Venkateshwar can tell you better. Actually, a lot of opportunities will be there in some of these areas. And what to prepare? Please prepare your resume and CV in such a way. I get resumes and CVs saying that I was AEN, I was DEN, I was this, I was that, etc., etc., etc. Who is bothered? Outsiders don't even know what is AEN, what is DEN, what is this, etc. You have to clearly say that actually when I was divisional engineer, I did this particular thing, this was my contribution. I was able to save this much. I was able to produce this extra. What used to take, say, 1 month, I was able to do it in 1 week or something like that. So that kind of a CV preparation is required. Simply don't list what postings you had. So that's how actually you have to attract actually. Now AI is there, you don't have to do anything, you just feed it to AI, AI itself will give you a beautiful CV. So please try to follow that. So with that, keep learning, be agile, be active, be a contributor to the nation's growth because we're not working for money. All of us are sufficient. Most of our children are well settled abroad or in India. They're in good these things, etc. More than money, we still have a lot of scope and talent, wisdom, knowledge, etc. How do we make use of it? And then how do we contribute to our nation's growth? As our Prime Minister keeps saying that by 2047, India shall become an advanced country, a Viksit Bharat. So with these words, I request you reinvigorate yourself, and thank you very much for giving me this excellent opportunity. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That is indeed a very, very comprehensive elucidation of how Metro started, how it progressed, and the way you made Hyderabad on the world map. Now, we would like to felicitate.
We have a question answer session. Okay. I'm sure all of you will have a lot of questions, but then please remember many of us also have other issues which we don't want to delay for health reasons, we don't want to delay the lunch which is waiting outside. At the same time, compliment NVS for sticking to his time management. Please, sir, another facet. I said 45 minutes to the dot. He has done his time management. But then I'm sure you have a lot of questions, so I would request you. Before I hand over the mic to some of you who might like to ask questions, on behalf of AIRROA, let me assure you two things which we will request NVS to help us on. One is, which we have already briefly mentioned, a visit to Uppal Depot and the control center. We will plan it out. All of you are interested, please give your names or put it in the group which we have. The other thing is, leaving this session like this will not mean anything. I'm sure at least 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 of you would like to see whether you are fit for a job. You would like, it's there in you, the passion is there in you. Officers Association will take the responsibility to help you out make your CV. Because I know how difficult it is for us to making out our CVs. We'll make it in a fashion which will be suitable. And I'll take the help of NVS. We will sit down in the executive committee and make out this brief. I'm sure many of you, the starting point itself may be a problem. So we'll help you out in that. So now, please, I hand over to anybody who has questions. You're most welcome.
Before that, Mr. DVS Raju is here, one of our retired chief electrical engineers. Okay, CE, he's working with us. You can be in touch with him. Okay, and a couple of others are also there. His assistants, and Ramchandran is there. Who else is there? Ramchandran is there. Then a few more are here. You can take their help actually. See, they will coordinate. And now Raju is the point, contact point.
Yeah, in fact, Raju is one of our most legendary officers who has done excellent work in the railways during the 75-year awardee presentations. We heard about, the good work he has done. Yeah, so questions, please. Question answer session, please.
Sir, during my service, I never had an occasion to travel by metro, but recently I have used it and I appreciated like anything, sir. Here my question is, for senior citizens, they have provided 2 bays, and it is, of course, being very useful. I thought it is, if I go, it will be a lot of rush will be there. But the moment I'm going, senior citizens, even though it is occupied by some other youngsters, they are being vacated. So my suggestion would be, it should be increased to at least to another bay, and that will be great help, sir, because I could see a lot of senior citizens also still standing, and that is very, very, in just 45 minutes, I could reach Miyapur, 25 minutes to Amirpet. And second is, some of the trains are getting terminated during peak hours at this in route, sir. That is giving confusion because all of us has to get down, and again these 2 trains load the previous next train has to take. So that kind of planning, I think it requires attention, sir. Thank you.
Issues which you have raised, this is the problem which we frequently get complaints on. this senior citizens seats being occupied by youngsters, unfortunately it's a social problem. I've got my security team, we keep sending security people, they try to persuade them to vacate so that senior citizens can sit. But to increase, it will be difficult because I have demands from different labeled people, they want more seats for them. Okay, women, they are saying that half a coach we have kept for women, they are requesting for more. So to increase the seats for senior citizens will be difficult, but we'll try to control this. 6 coach, again, the issue is actually, already L&T is in deep losses. They are not able to get, right now, tomorrow day after you will hear on this actually. See, we are now trying to get coaches, another 60 coaches we are trying to get. See, it's like this, we have 57 trains. With 57 trains, we are able to do about 1100 trips per day, okay? If we increase by another 4 or 5 trains during the peak hour, most of the problem will be solved. And again, the other issue which you mentioned it, sometimes what we are doing is, because of the heavy rush, in the busiest section, we are doing short loop services actually, closed loop services, especially for example between Amirpet and Raidurg. Again, Hyderabad traffic is a peculiar traffic. Morning is one direction, reverse is another direction. So morning traffic is towards Raidurg, evening traffic is towards this side, Uppal, etc. So to overcome that, actually we are introducing these short loop services. End to end we can't do it. That's how we are able to achieve 2.5 minute frequency with the existing trains. All the 57 trains actually we are pressing them into service. In fact, this doesn't happen. Normally you are supposed to keep about 20% reserve for maintenance, etc. But we are trying to manage. That's the issue. Yes.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I'm a retired traffic officer. So I got a lot of details about the metro operations, sensors, automation, stopping, caution order spots, regulation, everything automatic. I once visited the control center. But only my one request, sir. Can we permitted to travel in cab on a special permission to take a pass? So that I want to learn something, observe on the system of functioning of the metro trains.
You want a pass?
Pass to travel in cab along with the pilot.
With permission? No, loco pilot normally we don't permit actually. Exception we can make, but there are issues. Normally loco pilot is not allowed.
At least in rear cab, sir, while train is. Actually, we want to observe, I want to observe something more on the metro. Automatic functioning, what is working.
See, outsiders it's difficult. Even our officers only we don't permit.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Yeah, I think we must view it also from the point of view of safety, because we don't know the systems, and permissions for especially retired officers, even serving officers have not been given permissions. I'm sure general managers and others, unless they're VIPs, I don't think they have traveled. But yeah, I think someday we'll all hope for such things. Good.
Good morning, sir. I'm Subbarao, PV Subbarao, Deputy Chief Engineer, retired. Reddy garu, Sridharan garu Metro Man of India aithe, meru Metro Man of Hyderabad. Thank you. Congratulations. Then my doubt is, when state was bifurcated, there was a rumor that L&T wanted to go away because it is not profitable. Normally, nobody would like to leave any project when it is viable and profitable. Why they are leaving now? Why they are decided to leave now, in spite of metro being very popular and running full always? Can you elucidate?
No doubt, as I mentioned, O&M wise, operationally, L&T is making good money. But because of the huge debt burden, we are incurring losses. Okay, the loss is coming to about minimum 800 crore per annum. Already the entire equity got wiped out. Their equity is about 5,000 crore that got wiped out. Okay. So under these circumstances, that was one aspect. And second aspect, Government of India said they put a lot of conditions. Of course, there's a lot of politics also. I will not get into all that. Between central government and state government, there is an issue. Okay. Central government said, how are you going to integrate a private sector metro, and next phase you are saying that you will do it as a government metro. How do you do that? I tried to convince them. It's our own railway colleague is there, sitting there in Mahua. But unfortunately, because of bigger issues, okay, they kept on raising this, saying that no, unless and until you make certain agreements, which is difficult, L&T refused to make those agreements. As a result, ultimately, the state government thought over, decided to take over. Taking over, actually, see, we are not losing anything. L&T lost its entire equity of 5,000 crore. They have spent about 1,900 crore, their own money, in the project. Total project cost is 22,000 crore. 19,000 crore they have spent on their own. Okay. So the equity is ruled out. So we said we take over the debt. Debt of now 13,000 debt is left, actually. That 13,000 crore we take over, and 2,000 crore we give. Initially, there are some. So ultimately, the agreement is that 15,000 crore we give it to them. For that, we are getting an asset worth about 25,000 crore today. If I have to build this metro, minimum it will cost 25,000 crore.
One last question, if anybody wants. Otherwise, we'll proceed on with the one last question. Anybody? Okay. So, thank you, NVS, for that immediate response. I'm sure there are a lot of things he would share with us in smaller groups, because this is being telecast live, and there are certain issues which are still to be resolved. We all hope for the very best, because NVS is still continuing with the government, and I'm sure Metro will continue to be in his safe hands. And we'll move on. Indra can take.
We wish to acknowledge your services. We were shocked to listen that your effigies were burnt. But I feel they're all now blessings, and you live 100 years to do a lot more and achieve a lot more. They have all turned into blessings. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. And now we are waiting to felicitate our chief guest. I request our president, vice president, and
Friends, at the outset, let me first thank the managing committee of the association for asking me to be the chief guest for today's function. I feel it is a great honor and a privilege to be associated, and particularly to honor the great achievement of Mr. NVS Reddy. See, one of the most things I have noticed is that over a period of time, when we started this association, sometimes in 1985, around 90 at that time, the association has grown from a very small group of people, about less than 100, to today I think is more than 2,000 or something like that. And the activities have also grown so far the welfare of the retired officers and their families is concerned. But one of the most distinguishing features that I find have been introduced by the new managing committee under Mr. Venkateshwar is that incorporating in the quarterly meeting the agenda the concept of honoring some railway officers who have excelled in fields outside railways. It is normally for people who have done excellent work in the railways, we honor them during this Railway Week awards by Railway. But this concept is, I think, is unique in the sense that it's been done first time by the Railway Officers, Retired Officers Association. I hope the administration will also take a leaf out of this, and they start honoring people at the All India level also. There is one thing. this is where I must congratulate Venkateshwar and his team. The second thing is I would like to, you see, I don't like to take much time, but I feel privileged and honored to be honoring this achiever, Mr. NVS Reddy, whom I had known for several years when he was there. See, when I just came to this railway, it was posted in 1988 as FNCO, I found that there is a bunch of officers, youngsters, full of enthusiasm, and I find I was amazed at the amount of technical ability that these officers possessed, which made, of course, life very comfortable for me as the head of this organization. Anyway, but I find that they have done excellent well. See, in one thing is that by honoring such people who have done excellent work, it is only a question of honoring ourselves. And also because it creates so much of positivity in the organization and sets the high standards of morale, which also helps us in leading a much better life with a positive. And then it also provides a lot of encouragement and inspiration for others to do well in all this. Anyway, thank you very much for this all.
I must tell one thing. Two bosses. My first boss was Venkateshwar's wife, Mrs. Rajalakshmi. She gave me full freedom and mentored me initially. And Mr. V.S. Shastri. My God, the kind of liberties all of us have taken Mr. V.S. Shastri, the less said the better. But he used to, like an elder brother, he mentored us so much. And Mr. Balchandran is another, he is here. All of us, all of them actually, see, they have taught us. That's how today, whatever we are, because of people like these, whether it is Mr. V.S. Shastri, Mr. Balchandran, and many other people stalwarts. So I'm thankful to all of them. Thank you very much.
Would now like to felicitate our chief guest. I request our president, Sri NVS Reddy Garu, secretary, vice president, all of them to join for the felicitation, please. Thank you, sir, for accepting our felicitation. Leadership is not about positions, but about giving right direction and impetus to wherever you are. We are indeed fortunate to have a self-driven, innovative, and dynamic president. Now I request him to kindly address the gathering.
By now, we have completed, this present executive committee has completed 7 general bodies meetings with all of you. It is so gratifying that this term you have given us has really enabled my team, my executive team, to bring out new innovations and make this meeting more interesting. I don't wish to go into details. There are 2 issues I want to bring to your notice. This body, surely we have set some standards, but I wish that we look forward to many of you coming forward to join the team. The term of this group will be over in April. 2-year term, we started in April 24, it will be over in the next quarterly. I request many of you to now, having seen what is possible, what we all can do collectively, I want many of you to come forward. There will be no dearth of positions in this executive committee because there is so much work to be done. As somebody said, you have subcommittees, we want more of that to happen. We have subcommittees, we have conveners, we don't have volunteers to join these committees. And that is why these activities are not going at the pace some of you would like to happen. Of course, I would love to take forward this maybe in much more greater frequencies, but I know quarterly is perhaps the best we can do. So 2 things. I urge you, each one of you present here, and please talk to your colleagues and also those who are viewing this on YouTube. Please come forward and strengthen our hands. Officers Association will actually be perhaps more active than the Serving Officers Association. That is my goal. What we could not do while we were in service, we should do, and that is what NVS today's keynote speaker has proved, that retirement is not a bar for excellence. Of course, he did excel during his service too. Many of us have, but today we must take it forward. There is a lot of potential in all of us. Keep yourself healthy for that first. So for healthy, we believe in giving you good food, healthy food. So before we conclude this entire session, I thank all of you for having come in such large numbers. We have made arrangements. We said 2 things. One is a visit to Metro Center, and the other thing is, of course, helping you join metros. Please remember, metros are not only in Hyderabad. I'm sure some of you won't mind going and working or working offline for other metros coming up in the country. And we will give you forms for filling in your nominations or joining as volunteers to this association body. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Just now I'm informed that Sri Somyajul Garu has attended this meeting for the first time. Is pleased to announce rupees 4,000 rupees as donation to the association. Thank you very much, sir. Gratitude completes every gathering. Now I request Sri Sharma Garu to come and propose the vote of thanks. I request Mr. Shakil Ahmed, our member, to kindly come on and wait for the national anthem, please.
సభకు నమస్కారం. నా పేరు జీవీఎస్ శర్మ, ఈసీ మెంబర్ని, రిటైర్డ్ సీనియర్ డిఎం వాల్టేర్. గోరుగొంతుల శర్మ అని వాట్సాప్లో ఉంటుంది. రెస్పెక్టెడ్ ప్రెసిడెంట్, distinguished guests, senior members, and dear members of the association, the general body. On behalf of the AIRROA, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I sincerely thank our 2 eminent guests, Sri V.S. Shastri Garu, our chief guest, Sri N.V.S. Reddy Garu, our new achiever, for graciously accepting our invitation and for enriching this meeting with their valuable presence and thoughtful insights. We are deeply grateful to the Rail Club management for kindly providing us with the well-maintained hall, which enabled us to conduct today's meeting comfortably and successfully. We sincerely thank to the South Central Railway for arranging PA system, and similarly display and live streaming teams for their excellent technical support, ensuring smooth conduct of the proceedings throughout the program. I also thank the executive committee members, volunteers, and all those who have contributed to the success of the general body meeting. I also thank Sri Somyaj Garu for his generous donation. Finally, I once again thank everyone for their valuable and cooperation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sharma Garu, for thanking all of us. It's been indeed a day of meaningful discussions, valuable insights, and inspiring messages. We look forward to meet all of you in the next quarter, that is April 18th. And till then, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay active, and keep in touch with AIRROA. Our website is there. You can always communicate, contact. We are all available in the Railway Officers Club once in a month, etc. So thank you very much for sparing your valuable time. I request Mr. Shakil Ahmed to render the national anthem. Thank you.
I would request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय है भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उज्जल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तब शुभ नाश समाए गाहे तब जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय है भारत भाग्य विधाता जय है जय है जय है जय 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 है जय हिंद.
Request all the members to join for a delicious hot lunch. All the EC members may kindly stay back the stage.
Yeah, EC members kindly come onto the stage, please. Executive committee members. Damodar Prasad, please come onto the stage. And Mr. Sri Hari. And YVS Prakash Rao. Sesha Sai Garu.